think it all happens in Silicon Valley. You thought wrong.
So in a nutshell, Last.fm is the online home of your music taste. So what we do is we keep track of what you're listening to, whether it be on your PC or your iPod or iPhone, or a variety of other online services or devices that you use to consume music. We keep track of that for you and then use that information to recommend you new music, to create personalized radio stations for you, to help you find concerts to go to, and to also keep track of what your friends are listening to and discovering. Music, and especially digital music, was a global phenomenon almost from the beginning, especially with the early popularity of MP3s and things like that. It wasn't really geographically constrained. It was very popular around the world. So that's one important factor. Another popular factor is, since the very beginning, key bits of what we do have been open in terms of protocols and also open source. So especially in the early days and all the way through to today, you can make your own audio scrubber plugin for just about any media player or device, and you can also use our web services to do interesting things. So I think especially in the early days, we had support in a lot of niche music players that were popular, say in Poland or in various other markets, that no other service could really cater to, and it was just because we had someone in the community there who was interested enough to actually build something. And then around, I think it was around 2005 or 2006, we started recognizing this global appeal we seem to have, and we internationalized the site into 12 languages, which was quite a challenge at the time. But now we've got quite a nice routine of whenever we push new features, we have a short translation cycle, and we get it. Everything we do happens in 12 languages and gets rolled out worldwide in those languages. So that's really helped. There aren't many other online music sites that have both a Japanese and a Turkish version and a Portuguese version as well. What we call our core markets, so the markets where we're most active, are the US, UK, and Germany. And essentially all of our sort of European operations happen out of the London office, so everything from ad sales to legal to that kind of stuff. And now, of course, we're part of a much larger company, CBS, and in particular CBS Interactive Music Group, which is our sort of unit. We've got quite a few people helping us out in New York, and we've also got staff in San Francisco as well. No, it's hard to count now because, of course, since we're part of a larger group, a lot of people do some work for us and also look after other things. Here in London, we have a little over 50 people who are just Last.fm. But then again, there's at least another dozen in New York, if not more, and San Francisco as well. So it's kind of hard to measure these days. So there's a lot of different ways. A few that are the most important to us is we really do become the one sort of URL you can hand out when someone says, hey, what are you listening to these days? That's a question that still gets asked a lot, and there's not a lot of services that can comprehensively answer that. So we think being the online home of your music taste is something valuable and something we do pretty well. As well, we're a very rich music information resource. Because of Scrobbling, essentially, anytime you play a song and you're a Last.fm user, you tell us something more about that piece of music. And so every time someone scrobbles a track, which happens over 800 times a day, or a second, pardon me, during peak times, basically 800 times a second we're learning more about music. And this includes building a really long tail of more obscure music. So if you play a track in iTunes that you just recorded and just named, and we've never heard of it before, that'll actually create a database entry and a page for it just by virtue of playing it and scrobbling it. So as a result, we essentially think we possibly have the most comprehensive music catalog online and the largest database of music taste information. So in one sense, we're a bit more like Wikipedia than, say, MySpace. So one thing that artists can't really do on Last.fm is come to us and completely take over their page, because actually the information that we know about them is built by their listeners. That being said, there are a lot of services we do offer artists. A few of those, one of the most important ones is you can sign up as an artist to Last.fm, upload your music to us, and it will be played on Last.fm radio. And because Last.fm radio is personalized and targeted, and because it uses all that music intelligence we've gathered, we think we're quite good at finding the right ears for your music. Regardless of what genre you are, who you're trying to reach, we think we do a great job of kind of seeding it to the right people and connecting you with your fans. We have a really strong team these days. There's about 5 people in it now. They're called our MIR team, which stands for Music Information Retrieval, which is a fancy way of saying they all have PhDs in the art and science of basically taking all that music data we're collecting through scrobbling and making sense of it. So we've got some pretty cool algorithms that we're tweaking on a daily and weekly basis and testing new versions of on the site and also on the radio system for determining everything from which users are your musical neighbors, to which track to play next on the radio, to how similar artist A and artist B are to one another, or to artist C. So in terms of finding users that are like you, it's quite a delicate balancing act. We look at everything from what you and the other users have been listening to more recently as opposed to what you used to play 3 years ago. We look at tags, which our users apply to tracks, so you can apply keywords to any artist, album, or track, and we use that to gauge similarity. So there might be someone who has really similar music taste to you, even though you listen to different bands, they're very much in the same genre or subgenre. So we have a wide variety of kind of tools at our disposal, and we're constantly trying to improve the compatibility scores and all the different rankings we do. It's always evolving. We have 3 revenue streams, basically. The largest one is still advertising. So we run display ads on the site. We also have some video ads that we run in front of our radio product and also on, say, our Xbox application, which streams radio. So we have a mix of advertising types across the site, and that's still a really big part of our business. As well, we also have 2 other streams. One is subscriptions, which is growing quite well. In countries where we aren't currently able to sell tons of advertising, we've actually made the radio a subscription product. So essentially you get a free trial, and then you pay us £3 or euros or dollars a month to continue getting the radio. In countries where we do have more of an advertising base, we still offer lots of subscription features that range from being able to use Last.fm on hardware devices, also really cool data visualizations that our science team has cooked up, and social features on the site as well. You get to hide ads on the site, you get a recent visitors display, and a few other cool features that our users like quite a bit. So that's a growing part of our business. And then finally, we also have an affiliate revenue stream, which is where we match music on Last.fm to Amazon and iTunes and various other places. And then obviously if we recommend you something and you want to buy it, you can do that through us, and we get a cut from that as well. So we feel it's a pretty good mix of different streams. Right now, so we have a lot of ways of slicing and dicing it, but overall, in the last week, what did people listen to the most? It was Bad Romance by Lady Gaga. There you go.
Think it all happens in Silicon Valley. You thought wrong.